SoulBlazing. I'm Lisa Haisha. My guest today is writer, director, and talent developer for Disney stars, Andrew Lane.
Lisa, how are you doing?
Hi.
Wow, you look amazing.
Look at you. Look at you. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great now that you're here.
Well, you made my day. So.
Yeah, I just love that you find, and you know how to pick a star, you know how to find talent, you know how to nurture and develop talent. So tell me, how did you get into this? And tell me about a star that you created and helped on their journey.
Absolutely.
I know you worked with Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, and a load of other people, but give me a specific story.
Yeah, well, I always had the knack, even as a kid, to look for talent, even in the 5th, 6th grade, and I would always notice talent at school and help them out. And when I was in elementary or junior high school, so I had the knack of trying to help people and seeing their talents. And so, as I started to grow up, I started to say, well, let me take this opportunity to give these people an opportunity in the business, these young people, because they need a shot in this industry. So I started to develop talent and started to look at them and notice if they really wanted it, because you have to, say whether they want it or do their parents want it. And if they want it, we go for it, And so I can give you a couple of examples of people who I worked with.
Yes, yes.
Like Carson Leaders, he's from Spokane, Washington. He's an amazing talent. He's like a young Keith Urban mixed with Ed Sheeran. So I talked to his mom. We had an appointment. They flew down from Spokane. He was only 10 years old then. And so he was this precocious, blonde hair talent, but he always, he had this focus, laser focus about him, and great guitar player. And so we developed him, gave him songs, YouTube videos, and went viral. He went on The View. Keith Urban surprised him and gave him a guitar, and then he got signed by major managers, and now he's courted by every label in the industry now these days.
That's amazing.
He's on a Target. He has his own Target commercial.
Yeah,
so.
that's wonderful. Yeah, so how do you know when someone comes in on auditions, I do SoulBlazing and I have the imposter model and all that stuff, and when someone comes in the room, and when I was casting, I directed a film, Psycho Sushi, like years ago in a past life, but when people walked in the room, I just knew right away. And they say, how can you know I didn't even audition, or they're 1 minute, or not even 1 minute, 3 seconds, and you could say, oh, thank you. And it's because it's an energy thing.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about your aura, your energy, or the different masks we all wear?
Absolutely, yeah. Like when a young talent steps into the room, you know that it factor when they walk in there, because there's a connection right away, and they focus. They're not texting all the time. You could just tell because it's something that they really want to do. And then when you ask them to sing for you, they'll stand right up and sing for you, and they'll tell you their whole story without even the intervention from a parent at all. And then you could also see how they walk in the room, how they look at you, how they talk, how they walk. And and they always say, I believe in myself and I know I could do this. And that's a dead ringer for me, because when somebody comes to me and say, well, I just want somebody to believe in me. I've been working so hard. I'm like, I don't have time for a pity party, So,
Exactly.
But if someone says, I believe in myself, and that's the first key. If you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you. And when these young kids do that, it's just amazing. And I look for the,
Yes.
thank you very much. And I look for the quadruple threat. Sing, dance, act, and then also if they have any kind of modeling experience too. Because
Or comedic.
a comedic too,
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you look at Saturday Night Live.
Yes,
and,
yes, that's so big right now.
It's huge,
Yes, and we need comedy now more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look for those 4 elements in there, because I always tell them I want to give you every opportunity to make it. Because what if singing don't make it? Well, there's acting. What if acting don't make it? Well, you could be a great dancer. What if dancing don't make it? Then you have this comedic factor to what you could do and everything. So I like to give them more opportunities to make it, because one could lead to the other, to the other. Look at Will Smith. He was a rapper first, in Philadelphia, in Philly, but it later morphed into a great actor now, a director, production company. So I like to give them every opportunity to make it, because you never know what's going to open up for you.
Yeah, and what happens with child stars? Like, you worked with Miley Cyrus, so what was she like then compared to now? And did you see this coming? And how did her parents model being a star to her?
Well, Billy and Tish, they're amazing. I met Miley, and she was just, you saw, like in her, you saw that somebody very focused, and it was very calculated.
She has fire, yeah.
Yeah, very calculated. Because, once you're on Disney, you have to say, yeah, this is going to last for a while, but what am I going to do after that? And so the young people that I'm working with, and the young talent, I like to say, well, okay, you can have a long career in Disney, maybe, 5 to 7, 8 years, but what are you going to do after that? Miley, she had it all calculated, even though she went a little crazy a little bit, but it was all calculated because she knew what she was doing. She went from here, and she twerked, and now she's on Malibu, Now, then she has this thing. I saw her singing like Rebel Yell with Billy Idol, and she's like now this Stevie Nicks kind of a singer that does this kind of a Americana folk thing, but she could do anything and everything, and her mom and dad are just great individuals that supported her.
Because a father said Hannah Montana was the worst thing that happened to our family. How do you respond to that?
Well,
with what you're saying?
It could have been the worst thing, but it ended up being the best thing later on.
Yeah, later on. Yeah. So maybe he was saying that during her twerking years.
Yeah.
Her stage, yes.
But the whole family is great. I met Noah when Noah was a little girl. She used to come to the studio all the time.
And Noah's her sister.
Her sister,
yes.
Yeah, and she's doing very good now. So it just runs in the family, and that goes to show you the parental support is just an amazing, asset in this industry.
So what does a parent need to do if you pick up one of their kids, or if they want to get their child into the business? What's the first steps?
Let me do my job.
Let you do your job. Okay.
That's the first step. Because, I had to set a couple of them straight, in the studio. They were doing this. And I said, okay, you want to take control of this, right? I said, I'm going to leave the room. You go in there, you producer. You do it. And they said, no, I got this. And I had no more problems with them at all. Because it's like a professor. What if you had, someone go to college or whatever, you're not going to go in a room and try to take over the professor's role.
Right.
So let the professionals do their job. And those who let me do that, they end up doing a lot of great things. So
yeah, that's
it's
wonderful.
just a trusting factor.
Yeah, but what happens when so before they get it, so if I have a daughter and I want her to be a star, and I live in Oklahoma, or I have no clue what to do, what are the steps? Would I put her in acting class first? Would I just teach her on my own? Would I do a reel? What would I do? How would I get to meet somebody like you?
Absolutely. What I do is get I say, well, send me a YouTube, a YouTube.
But how do I even reach someone like you? Or when do I know it's time to reach somebody like you?
Right, when you see that desire in your child, that you don't have to tell them to practice, you don't have to tell them to sing or act, they're just naturally doing it at home, that's the time to do it. Because if you have to make them do it, then it's not going to last very long, and they're not going to like it or anything around it anymore. It becomes more peer pressure behind it, So once they see that desire in them and they want to do it and they feel that energy, then they'll call me up and they'll say, well, send me something that they've done, and I analyze it and I say, well, why don't you come down there, we'll meet up and I'll put an artist development program for them.
But if they can't reach you, what would they do at home?
Oh.
Do they do acting classes?
Yeah, acting classes, singing lessons.
Singing lessons.
Yeah, all those things.
Then when you feel they're ready, send them to you? Or do you like them more raw?
I like them raw, too.
You like them raw, too?
Yeah, exactly, because then you can mold them.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. So many times people, they do soap operas, and they go, oh, you shouldn't have done soap operas. You were talented, but it ruined their acting. Or they were with the wrong acting coach and taught them skills that they have to then unlearn.
Absolutely.
That happens so much in the business.
It's like taking a piece of clay, like this, right? Or it used to be clay or whatever, and just giving me this. I can't mold this. It's already done already. So if someone gives me something to mold already, then I can just take it and mold it into the shape that they want to be. And the singer they want to be, the actor they want to be, the actress they want to be. And that's important because that's their blueprint.
Yes. Yes, that's amazing. Does anybody in the audience have a question for Andrew?
Yes.
Hi, Andrew.
How are you?
Yes, my daughter is actually very talented, and she wrote a script for Disney, and she's 16 now. How would she pitch something like that to Disney? Because it's styled for Disney.
Great question.
That is an amazing question. Okay. Yes.
That's
give her a hand.
Yeah.
Wow. And first of all, let me congratulate her for doing that, because a lot of young people don't think about doing that. Well, what I would recommend first is that the age and the advent of social media and YouTube Red, you know, the days of knocking on someone's door, you know, you don't have to do that anymore because it's tough, you know. So what I recommend is to certainly go and develop that herself, do like a pilot, do a trailer. And once some of those things go viral, and then you'll have Disney, you'll have Hulu, Netflix, you'll have everybody knocking on your door. So to be self-starting in this situation, don't wait on anyone. You can't, because if you wait on other people, you're going to be waiting the rest of your life.
How many actors are you working with now, or child stars, or which programs are you working with?
Well, I have my own artist development program, and I have a team under me, and we help them get to the next level. You know, it's like a cool boot camp, you know. But we make it enjoyable for them. You know?
Tell us the process.
Here's the process. So, you know, we meet first and we get to know each other, and then after that we start to develop different sessions, okay? Whether it's a songwriting session, you know, whether they're singing a cover song but doing it her way, you know, maybe a monologue or acting, having her write her own show, having them, you know, do things that shows that their career is going in the right path. So I take what they give me and take it to the next level for them. And then we go in the studio and record them, show them recording techniques. Then after that, we do a live technique, because recording techniques and a live technique is totally different. So in the studio, you have to be more precise and more like in line, but live, you could just, you know, it's like looking at the sky. That's your whole audience there. But in the studio, you got these four walls, and you know, and you have these headphones on, and you're singing a song 20 or 30 times, you know, so you have to keep that imagination going. You have to keep the energy going and flowing in there. And also, when you're writing songs, like, why am I writing this song? Is this motivating me? Do I want to touch other people with this? Is it about someone I love? Is it someone who did something to me? And it helps their mind, and it creates a great energy, a great positive energy for them.
Yeah, so with Ava, like you were saying, you put them through the songwriting, where they would actually write their own songs based on their life experience, which I think is amazing at that age.
Yes.
And then you would put them in dance classes.
Right.
Millennial dance.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you also give them their own YouTube station,
right,
where you help develop their own show.
Absolutely.
Like for my daughter, you were saying something like Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. She'll be a young host, you know.
Right, where she could interview Disney stars and yet do comedy or whatever in between.
Absolutely.
So it's like developing them, but you said not in the spotlight for at least 3 to 4 years.
Right.
Because you want them to be confident, developed, and really primed for their big break.
That's right.
If they haven't been on camera, and to just give them the confidence so when they do it well.
Absolutely.
Yes, and then once you go through that process, you could actually create a show for them, or the parents, whoever, they could do the same thing at home. If they don't know an Andrew Lane or they don't know somebody else, they could just put their child through, you know, dance especially, certain type of voice lessons, or create something, or just get their child to write, or write their own monologues, write their own plays.
Absolutely.
Because that'll help the gears.
That's a whole
Yes.
audience out there, because the way the world is today is so much negative energy.
Yes.
But having a lot of these young people and have their positive energy, that can be a whole world to itself.
Yes.
And that's what's needed today, and I feel like it can do really well.
It is, and I think workshops like that, I think
Right.
people should start popping those up everywhere, where they teach kids how to write and create their own content, because they're such sponges now, and they're all going through so much with
That's
what's
right.
going on in our world today. It's like every day is a whole news feed that you're just going, what?
Enough.
And I can't even remember what happened yesterday or the day before, because so much is every day.
Right.
That if kids could capture that or get into another world of creativity and confidence, they'll be a bigger voice for the future, for whatever their views are. They could really express it, because our world needs different voices. And I think this young generation is just going to be like so powerful compared to
Absolutely.
us. We never had that megaphone
That's
before.
right.
Yes.
And what I love about what you just said is it's so important, because what you're doing is that you're feeding the mind with so much positive energy, and it's training the mind that
Yes.
all of a sudden they're seeing things in a whole different new light
Exactly. When
now.
they're writing a song or
Right.
writing a play, they're looking, actually seeing and
Right.
observing.
That's right.
So,
And we need that, because that'll keep kids off the street
yes.
and put them on the sheet music. Okay?
Yes.
And that's
Oh,
what we
love
want.
that.
Okay.
Off
All
the
right.
street, onto the sheet.
Onto the sheet. That's right.
Thank you so much for being with us, Andrew Lane.
Thank you.